presenting how to store, cite, and list your references using Mendeley. Mendeley is a software that's completely free. You can store your references on it when you're trying to do some homework, you're trying to do a report, some scientific article, a book, etc. It's really, really good for storing references and citing them. And right now, I'm going to teach you how to use it. Now, some of the things that Mendeley can do for you, I'm going to get the pen right here. You can collect the references by placing them in a single interface. You can place the actual PDF on the Mendeley software. You can manually enter the information for your reference, or you can upload a reference file to the interface. There's a lot of different ways on how you can upload all of your references. You can also organize them. You can create folders. You can have different folders for all the different projects that you have or different areas of study. And you can also export multiple references on individual files or in only one file. Very useful when you want to basically send those references to another person, or when you're trying to do some type of analysis, such as bibliometric analysis. Now, the other great function about Mendeley is that you can pair it with Microsoft Word. You can use it to cite different recipes. I was going to say recipes, different references on your document, and also below the document, you can then insert the bibliography. You can list all of your references, and it will do it automatically. So it's really useful, saves a lot of time, and I'm going to go step by step on how you can do all of this. So the first step is to download Mendeley. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it. You can follow me along. However, I'm going to have a faster pace. So if anything, you can then see this recording is going to be uploaded on YouTube, so you can do all the steps with me at your own pace. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to Google Mendeley, and then we're going to go on the lower part where it says download Mendeley. You're going to click this link right here. Once you do that, you're going to be in this specific window in where you're going to see the option to download Mendeley for Windows. If you have Mac, you can use this part right here. When you click on it, you can then click on this button right here to download the Mendeley software. Then you're going to see it here where you're going to then open it. My computer is in Spanish, so it says abrir, but you're going to see open there. Now, when you open the software, it's going to ask that you have a Elsevier account. If you don't have one, you can sign in via your institution, which you put your email and the password of your Outlook or Google Mail for the specific institution that you work in. So those are the steps to download the program. You're going to have the install button also, but basically you have to first sign in with Elsevier to then install the program. For the interface, the place where you're going to be working most of the time. In this place, you're going to see a window very similar to this one. You're not going to see all these references because they're specifically mine, right? That's the place where you're going to be storing all of your references. Here's my name. You're going to have your user name, and then I'm going to show you all the different parts. So the first part is the area to the left, upper left. It says all references. For some reason, I have difficulty saying references. In this part, you're going to see literally all the references that you have on the software. Keep in mind, you can actually enter them manually with a file or with an actual PDF, and you can open the PDF in this place also. You can see the files right here. The other part, you have a lot of options when you want to filter through your references. You can filter with the recently added, which are the references that you literally added, I don't know if a week prior or a month prior, but you're going to see all the ones you added beforehand. You can see the recently read. You can see the favorites where you can basically click on the star right here and make a reference a favorite, something that you probably are going to be reading often. You probably go a lot to that book. You can put it on your references in favorites. And your publications. You can actually have a section for the things that you wrote, which is very satisfying and it's really useful when you want to track down everything that you've done. The trash files, well, that's basically when you delete a file. It goes to the trash. You can then go to the trash and permanently delete it, or you can recover a file from it. So the other great part from Mendeley is the collection section. Okay, the section where it says collections is basically your folders. As if you have your computer and you have all of the folders in your computer, it's the same thing. Each name right here, it's an individual folder. The other part is at the left of your username, you're going to have a refresh icon. It's very important that you always click that whenever you start Mendeley. Okay, that's the part where it's going to refresh all the references you have and it's going to synchronize them from the internet to your software because it communicates on both sides. So whenever you're trying to do something on Mendeley, you should always sync first the references and then start adding or citing, etc. Okay, now with regards to the collection, the folders, what you can do, you can have individual folders and you can also have a folder that contain other folders. Okay, so you can have put a lot of control into how you organize everything. Now, whenever you open a folder, it's going to give you the folder path. It's going to say, okay, you're going from all references to the chemometrics folder. And if you have a folder inside another folder, you're going to have another slash and then the other part slash the other part and so on. Now, if you want to create a folder, you're going to go to the new collection area. It's going to be a square area where it's going to say new collection. In that part, you're going to write the name of your folder, the one you want to create, and then you're going to see the folder on your collection list. It's going to say all references slash example folder because that was the name that I gave it to the folder, but you can call it wherever you like. Since the folder is new, you can actually add all the references you want on it. You're not going to see anything because it's literally new. So there's gonna be no folders right here, no reference. So after we learned the interface, right, you first downloaded the program, you learned about the interface. Now you know how folders work in Mendeley. They're called collections. Now we're going to see how to create a reference on the program. To create a reference, what we're going to do is click the Add New button. And in that button, you're going to select Add Entry Manually. Now, you can do it three ways. Either upload the PDF, you can upload a file, or you can add it manually. I prefer always to add it manually. Why? Because there has been cases where the reference file contains less information or maybe even lacks information, like the authors or the title, it wasn't completely accurate. So I always double check. If you actually place the file or you place the PDF, always double check everything. Don't just trust Mendeley on that one. You do the entry manually if you can. So I'm going to click Add Entry Manually. So now it's going to open a new window. In this window, you're going to go to the second option where it says Reference Type. In there, you're going to click on it. It's going to give you a drop-down list, and you're going to see Journal Article. Right now, I want to add a reference that's going to be a research paper. Since it is a research paper, I'm going to select journal article. If you have another type of document, you can also select different types from here. You have the books right here, a book section. You have a computer program. You have a thesis, a web page, etc. Okay, you have a lot of options there. Depending on the options, there's going to be different options below the first one where it says reference type. So I'm going to click reference type and select journal article. The next thing, I'm going to look for the research paper that I'm going to use. Right now, I divided the screen into two parts. You have the Mendeley software to the right, and you have a web page to the left. And I found this random research paper from the journal Chemical Theory and Computation. Now, I'm going to add all of the information to the software. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the add entry manually. And since I already placed the reference type, that's journal article, I have this specific options for journal article. I have the title and the authors. I'm going to go through those first. So the thing we're going to do, we simply write the title and we write each author. Okay, so first we had one window. We had only one window for authors. Uh, I completely messed up. You have one window for authors. If you have more than one author, you can then click here where it says add another author. And you can keep repeating that cycle until you go through all the authors. So title, I'm going to write the title of the research paper. And then in authors, I'm going to write it in a specific way. First, we put the last name of the author, we put a comma, and then we put the first name of the author. If the author has a second name, you can place it as the, I forgot the name, the initials. You can place it as the initials, only the letter. This way, Mendeley knows exactly what you're doing. When it sees the first part, it will always assume that it is the last name. So be careful when you put the information. The last name is the first part, comma, then the first name. So after that, you're going to have the journal. You have to put the journal on it. Then you have to put the year, the pages, the volume, the issue, the month, and the date. So you're going to go step by step, gathering all of that information. Normally, when you go to an article, it will have all of that information still in the first part. You had the title here, you had the authors here, and here we have the journal, Journal of Chemical Theory Computation. So we're going to put that specific name in the journal area right here. Then you're going to see the year. We put the year right there. For some weird reason, it does not give the pages, the volume, and the issue. I assume since this is a really, really recent article, it still hasn't been sorted out on the volume and the issue. This is a rare case. Normally, you will see a tree, parenthesis, one, and then the range of the files, right, of the pages. You'll see something like this, okay? So if you see something like this is the volume. I would put 3 here. If you see something like this is the issue in parentheses, and then the page range, you would put it on here, right here. Okay. Since this only has X's, I'm going to put X's. Now, after that, you're going to have the publication date, which is July 15th. This is a really, really recent article. So I'm going to take the month. I'm not going to actually write the name of the month. I'm only going to put the number. July is the 7th month in the year, so I'm going to put 7. July 15, 15 is the day, and we're all set with this part. Now we're going to put the abstract. The abstract is normally below the title. So I'm going to go below, and then there's going to be a place where it says abstract. So I'm going to, this part, I will copy paste. I'm not going to write all of that. I'm going to simply select all the text and I'm going to hit Control C and Control V. Okay, so I'll hit Control C and then that's to copy, and then I'll hit Control V on the program. And this is to paste. And we're simply going to paste the abstract because nobody got time for that. Now, after that, we're going to then click Add Entry. Now, when you click this, Mendeley will create that reference with all of that information that you just gave it. So when you select it, it's going to appear on your all reference list. Going to see this specific row. And this is the row of that specific research paper that we placed on the program. Now, if I click on it, it's going to give me a new window. And it's going to give me all the information expanded. Okay, I can see the authors, I can see the titles, I can see the abstract, and you can still put a lot of other things. You can put tags. If you put tags, whenever you want to filter through your references, it's going to be a lot easier. If I have a lot of papers that have to do with some sort of technique or some sort of specific theory, I'm going to place the name of that technique or theory in the text area. So when I simply type in Raman, spectroscopy, rocks, lights, etc., those papers are going to be there, right? So it's really, really useful to filter your information. In the files area, you can click on the plus icon and you can upload the PDF of that specific reference. If you don't have the PDF, it's okay. You can simply have all the information of the reference. If you have the PDF, you can actually read it on the program. So it's really, really useful. Now, below the files, you can actually place the URL of the paper and you can place the digital object identifier. I'm not sure if those are the acronyms of DOI, which is basically another type of link. It's a specific link, right? It will give you, it will basically send you directly to that research paper. So you can put the URL on top and you can put the DOI on the bottom. Are you obligated? No, but it's always a lot more useful when people put those two because I simply click it and then I go to that specific reference. I don't have to type it on Google and then go to page 18 to find the paper. I can simply click on a link. So I prefer that. Now, you can also place that specific reference on a different collection or a different folder. You simply click on this square, and in the square is going to appear a check mark. Once you have that, you go to the organize area on the bottom here. You're going to click on it, and then you're going to select add collection. That way, and it's going to say, okay, so you want to put it on a collection. Which one? It's going to give you a list of all the folders, and you're going to say, okay, I created a folder previously, which was example folder, so I'm going to place it right there. So I'm going to click example folder. It's going to appear the check mark on the box, and then I'm going to click add below. Now, that way, when you go to example folder, which you have here, all reference, example folder, you're going to see now a reference on that folder. This is extremely powerful. There's nothing better than to simply create a folder for your references, for your paper, your book, etc. And when you go to write and you have to list them, you have them all in a folder. You don't have to search endlessly for them. You have them specifically in one area. I prefer this over anything. I love it, and I hope you all use it. It's really, really useful. Now, how do we upload a reference? We already saw how to do it manually. How do we do it more effectively with a file? What we can do is going to the same paper that we had beforehand, the same page, web page. You will see an icon below the information that says add to Mendeley button, and it literally has the Mendeley icon. This is a very straightforward forward option. You simply click it and it will send you the research to the all reference section of your Mendeley program. However, there's a little problem when you do this. If you click on it, the page is going to say, hey, first you need to have an account on this specific journal. And that is really, really tedious, right? If you're going to use references from different journals, I do not want to create an account for each journal. I'm not going to do that. That's too much work and that's too much emails. I don't want that. So what I normally do is another option. What I do is I go to the other side where it says exports. I'm going to click on it, and then you're going to get different options on how you can export the file. You can click citation to only have the information to cite it, or you can get citation and abstract, where you get the citation of that document and then the abstract information, right? The paragraph. You can also get citation and references, where you get the citation and then you get literally the reference list that the person used for the paper. I personally prefer citation and abstract. I do not want the other information. I'm happy with only the citation and the abstract. So I always click on that. Then you're going to have the file. The file, they are always in different type of extensions. You can have .bib or you can have .ris. Those are the two that I really, really recommend. This one allows you to place references on LaTeX. This is another type of software where you can create documents like Word. It's really, really useful. You can put it from with the bib file extension to LaTeX, or you can use .ris to put it on Mendeley as well as .bib. Both you can put on Mendeley, both you can put. But you can put .ris in other programs where you do bibliometric research, bibliometric analysis. It's hard to write with a mouse. But here we go. Bibliometric analysis. I prefer always to get the point.ris file. But if you get any of those two, it's perfectly fine. You're still going to upload them to Mendeley. So I got my RIS file. Going to go to Mendeley, click Add New, and go Files from Computer. And then I'm going to get this specific file, which is the one that I downloaded. And I'm going to click Open. Now, if you do not see that file, you're going to have to go to this section right here and change it to all files. Okay? If you do not see the .ris file, you have to go to this section right here and click the option for all files. That way you're going to then see the RIS. You'll click open and you can open it in Mendeley. Okay. So now you have the reference with all of the information. So as you can see, it's a lot quicker. You have everything. However, I recommend that if you do this, always double check. Go through the information and verify that you have all the things you want and that there's no error. One of the common errors is that maybe for some specific name, I'm going to call someone John Doe. J. Another file might place the name like this, though John. And then another file might place it like this, though Silva John. Basically, one research file might place the two last names, one might place the first last name, one might place only the first name. I've not seen that, but maybe they place the last name, the first name, and then the initials of the second name, etc., etc. So when you do bibliometric analysis or you're doing your reference list, you're going to have a lot of variation on that. So it's very useful to keep an eye on those specific things. Now, How do we export references? What we do, we select all the references you want, every single one, and then you go to the export button on the bottom. Okay. Once you click on the export button, you can select the type of file where you want to export it in. Normally, I recommend .ris file, but you can also do it in .bib. I'm going to select .bib only because it's a little useful when you want to see it as a note with Notepad. So I'm going to click this one. Okay, .bib. Now, once you click on it, it's going to say, okay, so what's the name that you want for it? And simply save it. I'm going to click OK, place the name, and then I save it. Now, if I open it with the Notepad, which everyone has Notepad, you can open it with Notepad. You can see the information for each one of those papers. You're going to have the authors, the issue, the journal, month, pages, the title, volume, and year. And you can do the same for the other papers right here. Okay. So it gives you all the information. So if you want someone to get a lot of references for maybe you both are collaborating to write something and you want to give the references to the other person, you can simply upload the files in Mendeley. You can then export them in bib, give them the file, and with Notepad, they can see everything. So I prefer it. It's a great way to do it. Mendeley also has the option to share a folder, a collection with another person. However, because programs are greedy, they are limited, right? You can only have one folder. Once you create that folder, you either delete it or you have to pay to create other folders. You only have to pay to create folders that you share with other people. So I prefer to just export it and send it to the other person. But you can do however you would like, right? So the other part is to install Mendeley on Microsoft Word. This is the best part. Well, a lot of parts are great, but this is one of the most useful ones, I would say. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the tools option on the upper part in the left, and we're going to click on it and click then install Mendeley site for Microsoft Word, right? We click tools, drop down menu, and we select install Mendeley site for Microsoft Word. Now, you're going to be given a link to a web page. And in that web page, you're going to click get it now. A bit redundant, but that's what we do. Okay, so we click get it now, and it's going to tell you, hey, please sign in with your Microsoft App Source account. It's basically the same account you have for your Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, everything. If you're using Outlook for the emails, it's literally that specific email and password. It's the same thing. So you're going to place your password and then you're going to place your email password, and then you're going to click on this option right here where it says open in Word. So we click on it, and then you're going to open a new Word file. Okay, it's going to open it for you. Don't worry. Once you open the file, it's going to appear a section where it says update add-in with Mendeley. Okay, and if you go to the reference section on Word, in the options above, in the ribbon, you can select references and you'll see all the options for references. When you click update now, the Mendeley icon is going to appear in this section right here. Okay, so we click update now and we are going to see Mendeley in this area. Okay, so whenever you want to cite or list a reference list, you go to references and you go to the far most right, and you will see Mendeley site. So once you have that, you can click on it, and you'll be given this specific window. It's going to say get started. And then for the 100th time, you're going to sign in to your email once again, and then you can open Mendeley. And that's about it. Now, once you have Mendeley on your computer, I'm going to show you two more things, and then we're done. We're going to finish everything. So The first thing is how to insert a citation using Microsoft Word and Mendeley. So what we're going to do is we're going to first, wait, here, okay, we're good. So simply you have your text and then you're going to go to Mendeley site. I forgot to put the text here. You're going to have some text here and then you're going to go to Mendeley site. This is the text that I was talking about. So this is a random text. It's simply to show that you have a paragraph. You're going to go to that text and you're going to select the specific area where you want to cite. Now, I want to cite after I say Lorem Ipsum. If you want to cite at the end of a sentence, you simply place the cursor on that specific area. Simply place the cursor where you want to cite. So we select that specific area, and then Mendeley is going to give you a list of references. I'm going to select the first one right here. If you want to keep looking for references, you can scroll down with this option, or you can search for something specific in here. Since I'm going to choose the first one, I'm going to simply click on it, and I'm going to then click on the button that says Insert One Citation. You can click multiple citations, okay? You can click multiple references, and it will cite them in the same area. In this case, I'm only citing one. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click Insert One Citation. Okay, so after I did that, you're going to have the reference cited after that specific area. So you might be saying, oh no, I do not want to cite that way, right? I prefer to cite it like this with the number 1, 1, 2, 5, etc. That's a specific style of citing and references in general. For Mendeley, the default option, if I'm not mistaken, is APA. Okay, it's simply APA. So if you want to change the style, I'm going to show you later. But you can actually do it. You can change the different ways in which you present the citation. So after that, we can also select another area. So I'm going to select this area right here, and then I'm going to select 3 different references. So I selected this one and 2 other ones off screen. You can see them here. You can see all of your references right here. So I got all 3, and then I'm going to click on Insert 3 Citations. And now I'm going to see the 3 citations separated by semicolons. Okay, I have one here, and we have one here. Perfect. Now, how do we insert the reference list on Microsoft Word? We just learned how to cite in the text, but I want another section where I have all of the references listed. This is the greatest part of Mendeley, the reason why everyone gets it, and there's no question about it. It's basically the best thing ever. So let's see. What we're going to do, you select the area where you want that list to basically exist, right? You want to select an area that's below the text that you want. So I'm going to select this one in blank. I'm going to go to the more options, and then I'm going to hit Insert Bibliography. Okay? So when I do that, it's going to say your bibliography will be inserted at your cursor location. It's going to say, hey, you chose here, or you choose here. Do you want that? And I'm going to say yes. I'm going to click continue. And it will simply click and place all the references. You didn't have to do anything. It did everything for you. You might say, but how does it know which references to put? It will put all the references that you cited above in the text. All of those references that you cited previously, they will appear on the list below. The order in which they will appear depends on the style of reference you choose, which is great because if you want to follow a specific style, you simply click on this style and reference it, and Mendeley does it for you. You don't have to basically do anything. It's very automated. It's very useful. It's basically the heart of this program. So if you want to select another style, you can click on citation style, the middle option in Mendeley site. In that part, you're going to see that we have APA as the default, the American Psychological Association. We do not want APA, we want another type of reference. So we're going to select another style. Now, I want to change to the ACS, the American Chemical Society, but I'm going to show what you do if you do not have it there, right? We have it here, so we simply click on it. I'm going to show we didn't have it there. So we're going to click on select another style, and then you simply write the specific reference style. It will appear above as the below that. So we click that, and then we click update citation style. And that's about it. You simply search it, you click on it, and you click update citations style. Now, not every single style is going to be available in Mendeley. However, if you're going to upload your reference, your your paper, let's say you're going to upload your paper on a specific journal, normally each journal has its specific style of referencing things. So you can search it on Mendeley. Some have appeared. I have used the Journal of Raman Spectroscopy style, for example, or I've used the Journal of Food Chemistry. Some journals do appear in Mendeley. If they do not appear, I think that there's a way where you can create it, right? And you might say, well, I prefer just to go through the effort normally. And I would say, no, you can create it and save a lot of time for other people and save a lot of time for you if you have to use it again some other time. But currently, I do not know how to create the style itself. The ones that I've needed, I've simply searched it on here and I had it. So I haven't gone through that process yet. But if I do, I can give this presentation another time and show how to create the style. However, we get the specific one we want, we click on it, and we click Update Citation Style. Now, you're going to see that since I changed the style, now we don't have the text of the citation, we only have the number. ACS usually does that. It places the number of the citation above, and then when you go to the citation list, it automatically changed it for you. You didn't have to do anything. It said, okay, we're going with ACS. We put the number and we put the specific way that they define it. And that's about it.